in this video, I go on a bit of adventure and into the barrier in Daily Race A. Daily Race B, I decide I want to kill Got Max Power as he goes for a spin in Daily Race C, the most dangerous pit entry in Gran Turismo 7. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025, week 43, and it started off very interestingly because we couldn't race this morning at all, which is the reason why this video is a little bit late. However, we are here with it right now, and in the background you can see the Redbull X2014 Junior cars at Sardegna layout A in reverse. Now we're doing 4 laps here on week slipstream. It's a grid start with a full start check on racing hard tyres with, of course, times 1 and fuel wear. Now, if you don't want to do this race, I highly advise you do it, by the way. I think this is a really fun car, but I think the control players are having a bit of an issue with how fast this car does turn sometimes. There are some timestamps there to jump to Daily Race B or Race C respectively if you want to try out some of the more standard stuff. We've obviously got Group 3 and Group 2 this week, if you don't already know, but this is the point of the video. We're staying with Daily Race A though, and here are the key statistics. So, we've used this track 4 times. It's 43rd overall. We've never done this track in car combo before, and we last used this track on the 16th of December. Week slipstream is OP in these cars. We've experienced that before when we used these at Daytona, and these cars can get a bit oversteery at certain points, so you do have to be careful. Without further ado then, let's jump straight into this race and let's have a look at exactly what happens. Right, here we are then at the start of this first one. We've got Autopolis in at pole position. 16 cars for this as well, which is nice to see. Now, hold the handbrake for this. I put traction control on 1, getting ready for this start as we get ready for the red lights to go out. Up ahead, the finish driver just goes there. Surely they're going to be soft to start. They are indeed. Traction control did help a little bit here. The Birry guy on the left-hand side there getting a slow start as well as we head towards turn number 1. And I didn't adjust my brake balance. I've only just noticed that in this race because I should be using +5 right now, but I'm on +0 for the race, +5 for the time trial, and I'll put that in the description down below. Head towards turn 1 though, very close here. Look at the racing action up ahead, slowing down very early here, and I sort of lose out here by being on the inside line. We exit that corner, we have somebody facing the opposite way. We'll have a look exactly what happened to them in the bloopers. But P14 right now, as we head towards this fast right-hander, do have to brake this time because we had somebody on our outside. Up to P13 we go. We have a slow Dutch driver up ahead, bit of contact there with Carolyn as we head up here, and I was hoping the gap would stay there. He didn't, unfortunately, so there's some contact between us as we go into this corner. Now, behind, we get a slight tap on our rear end there. That forces them into the barrier, or at least that's what I believe has happened. But I'm not sure the move was even on there in the first place. So another thing we will check in the bloopers. Through the fast right-hander we go then. P13 right now. Plenty of racing action to come here with this train of cars and, of course, week slipstream. Gonna head it into here though on the brakes, braking a bit earlier here, and behind we just get absolutely slammed into there. That was unfortunate. We start to accelerate. I was hoping the ghosting system would actually work there, and it didn't, so that fired me off into the barrier, and that is sort of the end of the race. Well, I thought it would be, but we do actually catch up to have some more racing action there. So the finish driver who hit us from behind there does take a penalty. They did say sorry in the race as well, and we do catch up to ultra salty Dan here, who is probably ultra salty after turn number 1 of this race. Into right under we go. We got a car, well, we got 2 cars there absolutely sideways. So we're back into P12, and we've got some racing action to come here, so we can actually enjoy this race and actually experience it without having to redo it. However, I will be jumping back on this race later this week because I think this race is kind of fun, to be honest with you. Gonna head through the fast left-hander then on the inside of Dan. Was outside, gonna be inside now for this right-hander. We do get it stopped there, trying to carry the speed through the corner, use a bit of that downforce. We continue on out of there. We've got Simo up ahead, but Dan is still on my inside here as we go on the brakes now. Simo there, I was closing in way too fast, so I tried to take avoiding action there, and I went a little bit on the grass to do that, but we managed to stop it in time. Dan as well gave me plenty of space on the outside there, so good racing. All said and done. Through the right-hander we go here. Some racing action up ahead. You can see the server is having some issues. Now, it wasn't actually Polyphony Digital's Gran Turismo's fault this morning. It was Amazon because the cloud service went offline, AWS. So we continue on here, starting the final lap here in P10 right now, and we're going into turn number 1 side by side. Very dangerous and very risky as we go through here, and I get very close to the barrier, and you can look at my face now. Yeah, a sigh of relief there that I survived that. Anyway, in towards the braking zone we go. I didn't disappear there, unfortunately for Barry. That does slow us down there because I didn't want to pit maneuver them on the exit then. So Simo on our left-hand side here as we approach the fast right-hander. We're going to have to lift off a lot here. Actually, have to dab the brake there. We continue on through. And then Dan goes for the move down the inside there. Pushes me to the barrier a little bit. However, was Dan there or not? Let's get some. We're going to check in the bloopers. Dan gets a 0.5-second penalty for track limit. So maybe Dan did cut it a little bit too much. I'll say we'll check it in the bloopers just to be sure there. We saw Dan racing very clean earlier on, so it could be a mistake. Could be our fault. Again, something to check in the bloopers. That's what I do, you know, in these sort of events. I check the replay afterwards. There's no point having a go at somebody or whatever because I don't know the full situation here. Now, I was bump drafting Dan there, try and catch up to the guys ahead. And Dan just went on the brake a little bit late here, so we do carry on here. All said and done, we can go for the move now down the inside as we head into this braking zone. Dan looking to carry speed on the outside. Carries it well, actually. Look at that beautiful defense from Ultra Salty Dan. Through the right-hander we go then. And Dan's actually going to do the sportsman-like thing there and go towards the right-hand side. So good sportsmanship there by Dan. We're going to continue on towards the final corner then on this fan lap. Look up ahead, though. Someone goes for a move down inside. That's Simo on Brie there. Or Birry, sorry, as we go through here. Look at the speed I carry through that corner, though. Here we go. We're going to head towards the line then with some advantage, some momentum here. We're going to go towards that left-hand side. Are we going to get Simo? Yes, we are. Can we get the other one? No, we cannot. I think we got the fastest lap there at the end as well, potentially. But we do finish that race. I do think this can be a fun race, to be honest with you. 7 out of 8 I've given it. And all the details for the points, of course, are going to be in a pinned comment down below. But I've got to tell you how to do a quick lap here. And this is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Remember, I'm using +5 brake balance for this. Turn number 1 is flat. You turn in, you clip the inside and continue on through and hope you don't hit the barrier on the outside. We're going to head towards the first braking marker, though, and that is the 100 board. Now, I hit the brakes just before it hits the rear view mirror up at the top. And you can see that there. I've just hit the brakes as it hits it there. Perfect. Now, you want to brake in a straight line. You want to drop down to second gear for this corner. Stay as far left as possible, then trail brake in, and then just continue a lot of speed through. And let's say we trail brake, instantly go on throttle there to carry some speed. Remember, this car has downforce, so the more speed you carry on the exit, the less slippy it will be, and obviously the more cornering speed you can take as well. Through the right-hander we go here then, and you have 2 markers. So you've got the end of the concrete on the left-hand side, or on the right, the end of the orange and blue barrier. Now, I use the barrier on the right there as my marker. I want to turn in just before the end of it. Now, this car does understeer a little bit, okay? So you want to turn towards the barrier and then let the car understeer. And look how close we got to the barrier there. That corner is flat for the very fast laps. Continue on through now. Still down on my very best here as we head up to arguably a really hard corner. So we accelerate into here and we just start braking before we get to this first apex of the kink before the hard braking zone, okay? You want to be as far left as possible for this corner because that way you can carry more speed through and on the exit you're not struggling. Remember, we have a long acceleration period coming up, so the further left you are the better because now you can carry all the speed through and continue on. And this is long acceleration period. Look at fast forwarding right now and look at the speed you're carrying then through this left-hander all the way up to this fast right-hander. Now we just passed some marshals there. Barry, Bill, Steve, they're all there on the left-hand side, but we're ignoring them this time. We're looking for this signpost on the left-hand side. We're braking just before we get to that, okay. We really want to take a wide line in and trail brake all the way. And if you turn in too early here, you're just going to run out wide and end up in the barrier. So look how wide I take this. Really being last of the late apexes there because I can carry the speed through the corner then. We're going to head over towards the right-hand side here. And what we're looking for is on the far right there. We have this trees. We've got the trees close to the circuit, which I'm not highlighting, and trees further away. As the tree further away disappears off my screen, I'm going to hit the brakes. Now, some of you will say, Titch, why don't you use the 50 board? It's a bit too late, and I felt like I was out braking myself every time I used it. The tree on the right, though, perfect. So I'm going to hit the brakes, trail brake a little bit here, and instantly go on the throttle. I'm going to go up to third gear, turn in quite early here, clip the curb if you can, and then continue on through. If you run wide on the exit, just keep your foot to the floor. The car will accelerate through the grass and gravel, no problem. Right, we go here. We're going to lift off now as we're going to this left because we want to be as far left as possible for this final corner. Now, the end of the curb is your brake marker, but you're braking before you get to that, okay? You actually do need to turn in a little bit early for this corner. And this corner is a third gear corner. Now, you may struggle and go, Titch, it feels more like second, but you get oversteer in second. Notice how we turn in early. Instantly go full throttle because we're in third gear. We have a little bit of a wiggle on the exit because we carry so much speed. But yes, third gear for that final turn. And that's a 140.435. And you can follow that ghost on the leaderboard, or you should be able to if it has uploaded by now due to the servers. We jump to daily race B then, where we're in that Ferrari there, GT3 car. So we're in Group 3, of course, but at Nurburgring, and this is the sprint layout. We're doing 5 laps here. It's a rolling start on racing hard tyres, which is yucky, to say the least. And, of course, you can adjust the brake balance here in Group 3. Now, Ferrari is looking very strong indeed. In terms of the key statistics for this circuit, then we've used this track 8 times, only 3 times for Group 3. We last used this track on the 21st of April 2025, so earlier this year. In terms of issues, we have a very dodgy chicane. I hate the chicane on this track, as you are very well aware. And the oversteer due to the tyres. Racing hard tyres do cause some oversteer, so it can make the car very slippy. It can also cause some understeer as well. Let's jump into this race then. I'm in that Ferrari, and let's have a look exactly what happens. Right, here we are then at race B. We have a lot of Ferraris in here. They were dominating the leaderboard. Marisonic, though, goes with the BMW M3. Good luck, Marisonic. Good luck indeed. Now, if you are enjoying this video, as always, make sure you do give it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the hype button if it's available to you as well. The hype button really does help out as we head in towards turn 1. So we're going to try it on the outside line, but I failed to see the Ferrari absolutely firing in like a wrecking ball there. However, they did wait up, so that was good sportsmanship, and we'll have a look at that one in the bloopers as well. We've got a lot of bloopers this week. Just wait and see. So in towards the right hand, there we go. We've got somebody off in the distance there, hitting the barrier. We get on the inside of Max Power. However, Max Power gets a better line on the exit. We got an oversteering Ferrari up ahead. That BMW of Marisonic getting involved. Shelty's here in the 4C as well as we go into this right-hander, and we're all closing up very quickly as we continue on through here then and head towards that very, very, very dodgy chicane. So Max Power's going to bump draft Shelty here as we head up there. I wasn't sure where to go here, so it's really not worthwhile going side by side here. So I back out of this. See Max Power backs out of it as well. I'm going to go light astern through here. However, on the exit there, Max Power just gets caught out by the Ferrari driver. At least that's what Max Power said. And unfortunately, I go into the back of Max Power. Max Power says I didn't need to wait. However, I felt I needed to because I was basically accelerating into them. But when you think about it, it's probably more of a 50-50. Probably didn't have to. So I wasn't going to go for the move here in towards the chicane. It would cost us way too much time. And I saw drivers up ahead like Prodigy. So I was like, you know what? Longer term in this race, it's better just to work with Max Power a little bit here to try and gain some positions. Coming into this left-hander here, nearly went into the back of Max Power. So I took some avoiding action, but it wasn't needed here. As we go through the right-hander, we're going to continue on now. Max Power getting all sorts of sideways. Or Max Power doing Max Power things is probably the better way to describe that one as we go into this right-hander. Look at that, 7 tenths up on the fastest lap. What's going on there then? And you can see here the server's still having huge issues there, which does cost me a little bit of time. Lap number 4 here then. The fight is still on between Max Power and Prodigy. Hard on the brakes we go here. Max Power looking around the outside of the Ferrari driver. I was trying to get a cutback, but didn't realise how much I tried to cut back there and nearly cut the entire circuit. Fortunately, I do not get a penalty because of that, unlike Prodigy, who got one for the chicane, of course. So I'm going to head down towards this right-hander here. Prodigy just goes a little bit deep, so I try and get on the inside of Prodigy, try and get out of here as quick as I can, side by side, then have to leave a little bit of room there on the exit as we go into this left-hander, still side by side. Beautiful racing here with Prodigy. A shout out to you as we go into this right-hander, and we're finally up into P15. We're not last! We are not last. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. No idea why here, but they're going very slowly. Who is it? It's Rafael, the Portuguese driver. So we decide to go towards the right-hand side. Rafael stays very consistent. That is brilliant, brilliant driving there from the Portuguese driver. You remain consistent, remain predictable. It's very easy for a much faster car to go by without any issues at all. Get to the end of the race there. Max Power decides to give me the position all the same. I've given this race 3.5 out of 8. I don't think it's the best race in the world. It's a very short race, racing hard tyres. Racing is actually quite difficult on it, so yeah, not the greatest. But even so, here is a lap guide brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out in the description and the pinned comment. We head towards turn 1 with +5 brake balance, and on the left-hand side, we have the escape road there, which then goes into grass. This is my brake marker for turn number 1. Now, you actually want to be a little bit more on the inside of the circuit. You see that dark line running down there? That's actually the grippiest line here. So you're going to go hard on the brakes right now, drop to first gear, and then trail brake towards the curb. Instantly go on throttle there, balance the car first, then accelerate 100%. You do have to get that initial balance right. 0 to 100% throttle is not going to work out well for you. I've already started turning in before that escape road on the right-hand side here, but when that escape road hits the edge of my screen, I just want to just dab the brakes a little bit. Racing hard tyres are not that grippy, so I really do need to try and get as much rotation as I can. So there's we go. A little bit of dabs of brakes there. I clip the curb, and what I'm looking for is in the distance. There's a Portaloo there. Portaloo. And then we have a tower as well, so I can very clearly see that. So as it gets towards the centre of my screen, that's when I'm going to start to accelerate, okay? So you can see right here, I'm just about to go on throttle. The car may suffer some oversteer, so be careful that. You see there, I had a little bit of a wiggle. And as we head down here, I'm looking for the end of the dark green stuff on the right-hand side. There are some time marks you can use that are a bit earlier on if you prefer to do that, but I'm going for last of late braking right now, trying to get as close to this as possible, but you can't brake at it. I want to trail brake all the way in here. I really want to slow the car down, but I want to go out a little bit to come back. Notice there I'm staying out and then bring it back to cut the last part of that curb. Through right we go. We lift off a little bit as we touch the curb. That's to avoid huge weight transfer. Go up to third gear and use all the runoff there. And you can see there we've made that corner absolutely fine. We start sector 2 then with the hairpin of the sprint circuit. And we're looking for the 100 board on the left-hand side. This is very much a corner you want to stay tight as possible. Really keep it nice and tight for this corner, because if you go out wide, there's not a lot of grip there at all. So notice here, I'm going to start trail braking and keeping it nice and tight. There's the first escape road. The second escape road, though, is your accelerating marker, okay? So there are two. It's very clear when you're driving. Obviously, on this, you're not going to see it as much. When we go to chase cam, you will see it, but this is your accelerating marker, and you can see there the grass bit in the middle. So I'm going to start to accelerate now. The car will get a bit of oversteer, which is absolutely fine, because I want to get around this corner as quick as possible. It acts like a handbrake. Over towards the right side we go. And on the right side, we have another portaloo with also a shed or something. Maybe Jimmy's in there. I have no idea. Anyway, that shed or the portaloo on the right side is our brake marker. Now, for this corner in the Ferrari, you could drop to second gear to get rotation and short shift to third gear, or you could keep it in third gear. Entirely your choice. I think staying in third gear is a little bit quicker, but you'll suffer a bit more understeer. Head over towards the left-hand side, and I'm highlighting two markers. Now, the one on the left is a marshal. I don't really use that, but some people do, so I'm highlighting it right there. It's as it hits the edge of your screen. Alternatively, I use as the tarmac shrinks there on the right hand side. Now for this corner, once again, you could drop to second gear to get rotation and then short shift to third gear if you wish. However, this time I stay in third gear. Once I click the curb, I can accelerate through. If your car touches the gravel, just keep your foot planted. You should be absolutely fine. There's enough power there to continue on through. Now we're going to head to the most annoying corner on this circuit, or any layout on the Nurburgring that is using this chicane. So we're looking for the 100 board, or as the drainage goes out there, you can see how it widens here, okay? I'm braking just before I get to that on the right-hand side. Now, there's a little bit of luck involved here with this chicane, with the way you get the bounce. However, it can be a little bit predictable if you start getting the line right. So we dropped second gear here. We're going to cut a lot of the first bit, then straight line the second bit. Notice I went to half throttle, then full throttle. I had a bit of oversteer on the exit, which cost me a little bit of time. However, you saw how I tried to straighten it. The more straight you do that chicane, the better your lap time will be. For the final corner then, on the left-hand side, we have that orange painted barrier. Literally, as it hits the edge of your screen, you're going to hit the brakes. Now, I do this corner slightly wrong. This lap was a little bit rushed today, just due to the lateness of the daily race going back. So I outbrake myself just a tiny bit there. I start to bring the car back here, and the start of the pit wall on the inside is a brilliant accelerating marker, okay? As it hits the edge of your screen, start to accelerate. Obviously, if you've got the car rotated very early and the car is rotated nicely, you can go full throttle. If you haven't, you may have to just judge the throttle a little bit like I had to do there. But then we can continue towards the line here, and this is a 1:26.5. You can follow that lap on the leaderboard. That's it for Daily Race B. Let's go ahead to Daily Race C, where we're at Autopolis again. You know, this is the third event of Autopolis within a week, and we're in Group 2 Machinery. Now we're doing 13 laps here with custom slipstream. It's a rolling start. I'm racing soft tyres, and you do have to pit at least once. Tyres 1 fuel and tyre wear, and of course you can adjust the brake bounce in Group 2, but it's not all Group 2 cars. Literally, they've just got rid of all the rubbish ones and kept the half-decent ones, which is a very odd decision in my book, but even so, it is what it is. I don't decide these things. Track has been used 11 times. It's 18th overall. Track car combo only twice, which was a bit bizarre to me. So we last used this track on the 14th of July 2025, or last week for the time trial. It's very hard to overtake here with the dirty air, and the pit lane entry is a little bit tricky, and you're going to see why in the bloopers. Fortunately, I do not fall foul to this time. However, that is going to be it in terms of the key statistics. Let's jump into this race and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then for the final race. Lots of familiar names in this one that we haven't raced in quite a while. We're starting in P15, and we chose the GTR. Why did I choose the GTR? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you do enjoy this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content, and remember, hit the hype button if it's available to you. So we're going to head towards turn number 1, sponsored for ETA. Goes very slow through this first turn, so I'm thinking, okay, round the outside we go. There's only a small little tap there, nothing major here, but we are on the outside right now as we head towards the next turn here. And going around the outside, very difficult there, but we managed to get it done as we continue on through here. So why did I choose the Nissan GTR? Well, I used the Honda NSX in a time trial, and I thought I'd fancy a different car. That's literally the only reason there, as Sonic goes wide as we continue on through the hairpin and continue towards the fast left-hander. In we go then. Slight dab of the brakes there just to get the car rotated a little bit as we continue on through. Sonic choosing the Lexus. Lexus was up there as well. La Pop, actually very good, minus the Audi. I don't think the Audi is that good, but the other Super GT cars, not too bad at all. As we go through here, there's a bit of contact up ahead then. Unfortunately, the NSX goes off the circuit there, the Greek driver. We go on by up into P13. We go then as we head down to the double right-hander. On the brakes we go, clip the curb on the inside, and we catch right back up to Mario Sonic as we continue on through here then. So I was carrying a lot of speed here. Obviously, the time trial has left some speed in me from last week when I was doing it in the NSX. And I did say there, the NSX was the best car here. However, the GTR was doing very well. I do think the NSX is the best car here because handling-wise, it's just better. However, the GTR a little bit quicker in the straight line. So it's going to be your choice in terms of which car you use here at Autopolis for this daily race C. We continue on through here then. And as we head onto the start-finish straight, we're going to be in a slipstream of Mario Sonic and the French driver up ahead. We're actually going to head towards turn number 1, and they're going to be 3 wide. I had no idea where to go here, so I back out of this one, slowing it down. Mario Sonic sends down the inside. There's contact between the French driver and Mario Sonic. We continue on through here, so we get a position from Mario Sonic, and we have Amy on the left-hand side then. Sorry, Arnie, not Amy, as we go into this right-hander. So trail break through here. We're trying to carry the speed there. We just get ahead of the NSX driver, and we are now up into P11 as we continue on through here in towards the hairpin, slowing it down nicely. So we made some good progress here, and I said you can't really race here. Well, I don't believe you can. I just feel like I've got such a speed advantage at the moment as we head up towards the hairpin that it's just benefiting me a lot here. We get a slight tap from the French driver behind. I think that was just a mistake more than anything, and they do let me go here as we head down here, which makes perfect sense as well. So no worries, good sportsmanship. We're on to lap number 3 then. We're right behind the French driver. We get towards the inside line here, and we are going to get the position. Even though they've got a penalty as well, it's worthwhile doing here just so I've got this fresh air. I can look to catch up to the German driver up ahead, and that's what we're going to try and do then. So towards the end of lap 3 here, see we've got a big pack of cars then. We've got the German driver here, we've got a French driver, and I think that was Loopy up ahead. The German driver just goes off the circuit there, gets it slightly wrong. We get on the inside then, up to P9 we go as we go into this final corner. We just cut across there, and we get the job done. Now that was a legal move for those going, did you cut across the nose? No, I was very much ahead there, better line as well. Headed towards turn number 1, up ahead there's some contact. I had to release the brakes a little bit from behind, and the French driver, well, they've gone. We're up into P8 now. So we're making progress. Lap number 5. Loopy up ahead then. So we're right on the back of Loopy, who also chose the Nissan GTR. As we continue on through this left-hander, looking to calm the car down as we go into this right as we accelerate out of here. Notice there we tried to get the cut back, similar to what was happening in Formula 1 this weekend at Road America. No, Circuit of the Americas, not Road America. Apologies for that one. But I like COTAS actually. I really wish that was in Gran Turismo 7. We continue on through here then, heading up towards the hairpin. And where's that brake marker? There it is. There's that arrow. We're looking to slow the car down as we go through here. Loopy just gets it slightly wrong there. We're going to have a better acceleration on the exit due to Loopy getting it wrong then. As we go down here, Loopy just backs off, and I put my thumbs up, say thank you for that one. We catch up to Nico now, the French driver in the Lexus, as we head into here. So I showed my nose there just to scare them a little bit. And once again, we're trying the same sort of trickery here, getting on the inside, accelerating out of that corner very early indeed, up into P6 on lap number 6. Nico once again gives me the place, so happy days indeed. We're already up ahead then, heading towards the pits, so I decided to go a lap longer. I was going to go into the pits this lap, but I thought I'd try something different as we continue on through lap number 7 then. My tyres were really feeling it this time. We have a yellow flag up ahead. We'll have a look at that one in the bloopers. Let's just put it that way. Somebody up ahead has absolutely binned it in the pit lane. Right, we're going to change our tyres here because tyre wear is a little bit bad on these cars. I highly recommend you do change tyres. If you try and do a no tyre change, you're going to be falling off a cliff at the end of the race. Anyway, we're going to leave the pits now then and head towards turn number 1. Look behind us there. We've got a fast Lexus coming up on our inside then. To the right hand we go. There's slight contact between the two of us. That unsettles my car here as we continue on out of there. Now we're literally right behind them as Lady Tidgney made an appearance there in the webcam. We're going to head towards this right-hander, and the French driver sort of stays out wide. I'm not sure whether they were actually giving me the position back or not, but thank you if you were, or happy days, I got the position. We're up into P5. And we actually jumped Rory there as well, so we can head towards the end of the race. The second part of the race was really boring for me, to be honest with you. There was nobody around because it just ended up being a big gap. As you can see there, the NSX dominating the first 4 positions. I think it's slightly better on tyre wear as well, which does help it. And fair play to Ugandan on that race victory. There's the point scores down. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Once again, all the details for that point system is down below in a pinned comment. But a lap guide here at Autopolis. You've had one last week. We've got another one this week. This is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta apps. Do make sure you check them out in the description and the pinned comment. Plus 5 brake balance here in the Nissan GT-R Nismo GT500 car. And as we head towards turn number 1, look at that orange painted barrier on the left-hand side. We actually want to brake just after that leaves the screen because you want to carry as much speed as possible in Group 2. Now, I've said this in the time trial one, and the time trial is in the NSX. So if you want the NSX time trial guide, do check that out. As you go to here, it's all about carrying speed. So short shift to third gear on the exit there. You need to carry speed. You need to believe in the car that it will grip. Downforce helps massively here. The more speed you carry, the more grip you have. We head towards this right-hander here, or the complex part of Autopolis, I would say. And what you're looking for here is the escape road and the 50 board. And you're braking in the middle of these two, okay? So after the escape road and before the 50, and you can see that quite clearly here. Watch how I do this. I'm going to stay out left as long as possible, then turn in, I clip the curb, then I accelerate a little bit. I'm going to dab the brakes as I go into this left-hander, I clip the curb, accelerate a bit more, clip the curb, accelerate a bit more then, and hard on the brakes at this moment in time. And I'm using the end of the curb on the right-hand side as my brake marker, okay? So what we're going to do here is drop to first gear for this hairpin, okay? Now, the reason for this is that on the exit, some people will go, well, second's better. It's not. Literally, first gear, you want the rotation, and it will allow the wheels to get planted. Notice there, 50% throttle, then 100% throttle, and then I went to second gear. It just bounces that car a little bit better. Now we're going to head into the fast left-hander. So we've got to start the curb here. I'm literally want to turn just as I get to the start of the curb, or arguably just before it, to be honest with you, and turn in. And I just want to let the car flow through here. You might want to dab the brakes a little bit if you're struggling. However, I really just want to carry the speed. Let the aero do its work there. So notice I start lifting, lifting, lifting. I'm trying to carry as much speed as possible by just staying on the throttle that little bit. Now the marshal box there is my accelerating marker. So once it's got past the inside barrier, I then want to start going 100%, and hopefully I've clipped the curb on the inside. This will rotate you a little bit, so it's very beneficial to clip that curb on the inside. We continue on through here there. We've run a little bit wide there. Just be careful of wheel spin if you do touch the grass there as we head up towards the hairpin. Similar to the NSX that I talked about in the time trial, literally the middle arrow on the right side is your brake markers. You brake as it hits the edge of your screen. Now you can try and outbrake yourself here and you'll go a bit too deep, and then unfortunately that is going to actually cost you more time. So it's better to brake early here and take an inside line. So I'm going to take a wide line in but get on the inside very quickly. Now notice there I'm instantly on the throttle 60-70%, and I'll let the car balance itself before then going to 100% throttle. We're gonna head down here then, and on the right hand side there we have this pole. This pole is dab the brakes and chuck the car in. And you need to believe in the car in this corner, okay? This is where a lot of the top times get a lot of time because they're just allowing the car to use the aero, use gravity, use the push down into the circuit to just carry the speed through here. It's where I gained a lot of time as well this morning. As we continue on through then, happy days indeed. We get to the end of the curb on the left-hand side. We're going to just dab the brakes a little bit. And once again, we're going to use the speed of the car now. So you can drop to third gear if you want. I did have to drop to third gear in the race a little bit because it just struggled a little bit with understeer. However, fourth gear is possible to do this corner with, and dabbing the brakes, letting the car roll into the corner, clip the curb, and then instantly going on the throttle. We continue on through, over towards left side, clip the curb, lift off a little bit, and as we get straight here, we're going to hit the brakes. I have no brake marker here. I said that in the time trial guide last week, and once again, there is no brake marker. Just brake in a straight line, drop to second gear. As you go through this corner, I want you to then short shift to third gear on the exit, and that will give you some stability, at least as you go through this corner. So there's second gear, and then we short shift to third gear. Notice I'm on and off the throttle here as we continue on through. Clip the curb on the left hand side, lift off a little bit more, clip the curb, and then accelerate through. Head over towards the left hand side, then turn in towards the right hander, and the start of the curb here is your brake marker. You're going to trail brake this last little bit, okay? And I want you to just carry the speed, but slowly bleed off that speed at the same time, because what you're looking for is on the inside, it's an accelerating marker, and I'm going to point that out in a second. So watch what I do here then. I'm going to trail brake, still trail braking, and there's my accelerator marker, the orange square, okay? So you can see my speed there, 82 miles an hour, 133 kilometers an hour. I'm on the inside, I'm very close to the curb. The car is now rotated enough where I can start accelerating, and it's very close to that orange square. Use that as your accelerator marker. If you're struggling a little bit of understeer, just wait till it disappears off the edge of your screen. We continue on through here. You can cut the inside quite a lot there. We're going to head towards the line here. This is a 0.3, similar to my NSX time there, and that is in the GTR. I'm going to jump to some bloopers now. We're going to head towards turn 1 with Ultra Salty Dan here then on the brake. So slight contact there between two cars as we continue on through here. Oh, 3 into 1 does not go, and unfortunately Dan is the victim of that one. So here is Beery. I just wanted to check this one. So going into this corner here, and yeah, they tap me before they go into the barrier. That makes sense then. So there was just enough room there, but unfortunately that's the situation with that one. So here's the finish driver then. And you're going to see here they brake at the 50 board way too late, and unfortunately that pushes me into the Dutch driver, and then watch me there just get punted straight into the orange bit right there. what we're going to do now is jump to the next one. They got a penalty as well. So we've got Simo here. So this is a common mistake on turn number 1. Going through here, just turning a bit too late and into the barrier. There you go. And they get spun around completely then. Right, next up, what have we got here then? This is the Dutch driver, and oh, this is when the two are sideways as we go into here. So they don't actually clip each other, they just both go sideways. What a very odd incident that is then. Right, what is next? We've got a lot of bloopers here, folks, and we're back on Dan. Oh yeah, so did Dan, so what was the issue here? As we head through this left-hander, I'm not sure the move was really on there, 50-50. Yeah, I don't think the move was on, to be honest with you. But they may have a different opinion, and it's all good to have a different opinion. So here's the Ferrari, absolutely getting the braking slightly wrong there and going to me. But look at this, they wait up for me. So really good sportsmanship by the German driver right here then. The RCZ, what happened to them? Going into the hairpin, we saw them disappear off, and they just hit the brakes a bit too late. And then you are on a journey when you touch that grass. Look how slow it is to actually slow down. Here's max power then. So this is the incident at the chicane as we go into here. So we clip the first curb, and then, yeah, it's just small contacts. You know, Gran Turismo with the physics, small contacts get bigger and bigger, and that was unfortunately max power then doing a reverse 360. Right, we're on board Anthony here then, so we're going to head towards the hairpin once again. Oh, that's really good sportsmanship. Well played, Anthony. So saw that they outbroke themselves and took avoiding action. Play to you. We go on board the Greek driver here then as they head up towards the hairpin, and they're going to send it as the French driver also sends it. So 3 into 1 doesn't go again. Through the corner they go. Slight tap on the rear end, that sends them into the barrier. That's unfortunate, that one. A bit ambitious with the move, I would say, though, there from the Greek driver. We go on board Luke Nadero as they head in towards the pits. There's only one outcome here, so they clip the left and they just get it slightly wrong. That's only a small mistake, that one. Literally, invisible barrier goes out a bit further. Go on board the French driver though here, heading towards the pits, and they're going full throttle into here, and they get it completely wrong, and they absolutely, well, they die basically. Look at that. That was an unbelievable death. The final blooper then. So here is the French driver. I just want to see if this was fair or not as we head towards turn number 1. They send it down the inside. Beautiful send there actually. And they get to here and yeah, that's a fair move in my opinion. Yeah, a small contact, but it is what it is. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. That's going to be it for me. Make sure you do check out my partners down below, including Coach Dave Academy. They have partnered with me for this video, so make sure you do check out that Delta app. 2 videos there to check out, including the NSX time trial. But that's going to be it for me, folks. A big thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video. I'll live stream again very soon.